A friend who speaks gobbledygook is meeting us. Before he arrives, perhaps you could tell me why we're here?
Of course. Unfortunately, presenting Ranrock with the Helmet of Urtkot did not have the effect I'd hoped. Because he knew the details surrounding its plunder, he presumed I'd had help from a witch or wizard in retrieving it.
How else did he expect Goblinkind to get the helmet back? Seems he has no interest in making amends with you.
I'm afraid we do not have the luxury of rational expectation when it comes to Ranrock. Damn Bragbor and his blasted journals.
Bragbor?
An ancestor of Ranrock's, renowned metal worker. If we are to work together, I suppose I must tell you more. Not long ago, Ranrock sent me to collect a recently unearthed set of Bragbor's journals. They described repositories that Bragbor had been commissioned to build for a group of witches and wizards.
What do you mean, repositories?
Large, magically fortified receptacles crafted from goblin metal. Ranrock recruited others to help me locate the repositories. We were to search anywhere that was connected to 5 names mentioned in the journals: Rackham, Fitzgerald, Bakar, Morganach, and Rookwood.
Rookwood Castle.
That is where we began our search.
Why does Ranrock care so much about these repositories?
He cares about what they contain. For centuries, wizards have refused to share their magical knowledge with goblins. Your kind will not even let us carry wands. Thus, many goblins, myself included, have spent our lives mistrusting wizard kind. Ranrock was convinced that the repositories contained a magical power that wizards wanted to keep for themselves. He is determined to take it for goblin kind. But
Here comes my friend Amit. Probably best to continue our conversation later.
Greetings, Lord Cock. It is an honor, sir.
You speak gobbledygook.
Oh, Bacalio.
Enough. Please do not tell me that was meant to be gobbledygook.
Yes. Perhaps my pronunciation was a bit off. I imagine certain dialects differ.
Pronunciation is not the issue. I barely recognize that as language. I trust you can read gobbledygook better than you can speak it?
I can, Sir Lodgok.
Just Lodgok. Thankfully, we only need someone who can decipher written plans, since I cannot join you in the mine.
What written plans? And why can't you come with us?
We need some idea of what Ranrock knows or is plotting. I suspect a careless loyalist may have left plans behind. And I'm unable to join you because I cannot risk anyone reporting my presence to Ranrock. All you need to do is not be seen, either by the eye above the enchanted door or a loitering loyalist.
Amit and I can do this.
I will await your return. I shall see you soon.
The door is looking at us.
Levioso.
Lumos.
Lumos! Right. Don't wish to be seen, do we? Books so rarely prepare one for reality. A real goblin mine. It's even grander than I had expected. I cannot believe I met a goblin.
Let's just learn what we can and get out.
Look at this lift. Impressive workmanship for so simple a device.
Impressive workmanship aside, it's the only way forward.
I still can't believe we're inside a real goblin mine.
Accio. Flipendo. Lumos. Revelio.
I've read about mines like this, but seeing it is something else altogether.
Shut up.
Keep your wits about you, Amit. I'll get you through this mine.
What's that shit? You can't stop us. I've been fighting since before.
Descendo!
Move for the coward.
Incendio.
That was a little more than I'm used to.
I'll get us through this safely, Amit. You have my word.
I'm quite good at sneaking about. You'll see. I feel like a character from one of the adventure books I read during the summer holidays.
Let's take a look around, Amit. See if we can find any plans.
A schematic. Let me know if you see any more plans or schematics. We can't return to Lodgok empty-headed.
Revelio. Lumos. Confringo.
Leave your arm, isn't all. I won't rest.
Expelliarmus.
Dead.
Fascinating to see gobbledygook written in a goblin hand. The flourishes are extraordinary.
Revelio.
I will get to the bottom of what they've been building down here. If I'm translating this correctly, and I think that I am, they're building something rather large. But what? There must be more notes around here. What could they be building? Levioso!
Protego. Confringo. Defendo.
Why can't I hit
Incendio.
you?
Levioso. Defendo. Accio. Confringo.
I won't rest. You call that spellcasting? Get away!
Confringo. Expelliarmus. Defendo. Confringo.
Rather up wise coming back this way. Spell.
Incendio. Confringo. Expelliarmus.
I will
Too much.
Stay close. I've handled much worse.
Another boiler. This place
Revelio.
is more complex than I had expected. Another schematic. What are they going to build? This mine is too small for whatever it is.
Confringo. Accio. Lumos.
Lumos!
We're close to a breakthrough. I can feel it.
Guardian Levio Lumos. Flipendo. Expelliarmus. Incendio. Expelliarmus. Confringo.
One less shoot to worry about.
I will have my revenge!
Don't do it again, I believe.
Flipendo.
I can feel it.
Flipendo. Accio. Confringo. Expelliarmus.
Stop it.
Won't get away with that.
Flipendo. Incendio. Protego. Confringo.
You won't get away with that.
Incendio.
You are terribly outmatched. Johnny, let's get this over with.
Confringo. Incendio. Defendo. Levioso. Expelliarmus. Protego.
Your time is so tired.
How many of them are there?
That should be the last of them, I'll meet. Revelio. Revelio.
Clever.
Revelio. Confringo.
This is not good. They're building enormous drills, bigger than this mine could contain.
Let's get out of here and tell Lodgok what we found. There must be a quicker way out of here than retracing our steps. Revelio.
I need a moment to catch my breath. This was more than I bargained for.
I'm glad you came with me, Amit. Now that we know what they're up to, we can get out of here. We're almost out of here, Amit. Look, the lift.
A welcome sight indeed. Right. Don't wish to be seen, do we? Can we please talk about what...
That wasn't so bad, was it?
It was. It really was. I'm afraid I've had enough adventure for one day. For a lifetime, perhaps.
Thank you, Amit. I couldn't have done it without you. Now, if you don't mind, I'd like to have a word with Lodgok.
Understood? I'll leave you to it. Your goblin secrets are safe with me, but I get to write the book about this escapade someday. Without further ado, adieu.
They're building enormous drills. We found their plans. Ranrock must be searching for the repositories.
I fear you are correct. Other than Rookwood Castle, however, I do not know where else he plans to search.
I've been wondering about something else you said before we entered the mine.
Yes?
If you share Ranrock's views, then why are you helping me?
I expected Rookwood Castle to be deserted when I arrived to begin my search. So was surprised to find a witch there who had set up a sort of improvised research site. She was studying something so intently that she almost didn't notice me. When she looked up, I thought she would react with fear or disdain. But instead she did something that I will never forget. Without a moment's hesitation, she smiled and asked me to sit with her. She told me that she was a researcher and showed me a small, oddly shaped container with a strange symbol on it. She was certain it was made of goblin metal, but was unable to open it. She wanted to work together.
Miriam.
Yes. But how did you...
Professor Fig's wife. He told me of her research, and I know of the container.
The reverence with which she talked of goblins and their intelligence and skill, it caught me entirely off guard. I'd never been treated with such respect by a witch or wizard. So, to my surprise, I let her study the container if she would allow me to search the castle on my own. We parted ways, with her promising to share what she'd learned. More of Ranrock's recruits arrived, and we began to dig, eventually locating the first repository. Ranrock was thrilled with our discovery, but furious when I told him about Miriam. Berated me for trusting a witch, and I heard she'd been killed.
You think Ranrock murdered her?
I don't want to believe it, but I don't know. After that, something shifted in me. I had seen how the power from the repositories was transforming Ranrock, transforming all of them. I could no longer remain a part of it.
Thank you, Lodgok, for telling me this.
I tell you all of this so that you understand what is at stake. Ranrock never found all of Bragbor's journals, but the ones he did find suggest that Bragbor at some point built a repository far greater in size than the one beneath Rookwood Castle. What you've discovered here today worries me deeply. If Ranrock learns of the location of that repository, I fear we shall be destined for a great war. I will find out what Ranrock knows. Watch for my owl.
as soon as I can. Who lived here, I wonder?
Those are the things that have.
It's exhausting.
Bölüm. Accio.
Confringo!
Incendio. For that Incendio. Where's that goblin hell? Thief. Expulso. Cost us our ransom. Incendio. Too slow. Expulso. Everyone gets lucky now and then. Incendio.
Accio! Flipendo! Accio! Confringo!
What's this?
Expelliarmus!
Novice luck.
Incendio!
To regret that.
Flipendo! Accio! Incendio!
I have little patience. The brains of a...
Confringo!
Potato. Come on.
Expelliarmus!
Fighting back.
Flipendo!
Rise and fight. Potato.
Flipendo! Confringo! Flipendo! Flipendo! Levioso! Expelliarmus! Incendio!
Who's scared to face me in me own body?
Confringo! Confringo! Revelio! A castle. Must have been quite stately in its time. Could it be a mud? Levioso! Confringo! I should invent. Revelio! Defendo! Confringo! Expelliarmus! Defendo! Revelio. Now, I'm only trying to help. Assignment's all finished. Revelio. Revelio. Accio. That solves that. Protego! Confringo! Cursed fiends. These rocks have seen better days. Levioso! Confringo! Revelio. Expelliarmus. Incendio. Confringo. Revelio. Confringo. Merlin himself would be proud. This looks intriguing. Do cooperate, won't you? I'm not going to hurt you.
so much we don't know about beasts. So much.
Excellent work today. Class dismissed. I take it you're
I
ready.
completed your assignment, Professor. I'm ready to learn Bombarda now.
Good. Now, this spell comes with a caveat. It should only be used when necessary. The exploding charm, as you might suspect, can hurt people. Use caution when casting it.
I will, Professor.
I will hold you to that promise. Now, you must be precise in your wand movements. We don't want you blowing your hand off. Go ahead. Nice and steady wand movements. Remember, the exploding charm is highly volatile. Well done. Now, let us put it into practice, shall we? Go ahead and try it on the pumpkin.
Bombarda!
Excellent wand work. Cast the spell just like that every time. Assured and in control. Textbook execution. Bravo. Excellent. You have it well in hand.
Professor, might I have a moment?
Yes. What is it?
I was wondering what inspired your interest in magical beasts.
Are you considering some sort of profession in the field?
I haven't decided quite yet, but I do find magical beasts fascinating.
You do seem to engage well with the beasts in class. I believe that when choosing a path, particularly of a scholarly nature, one must take into account both one's enthusiasm for a particular subject, as well as how one may best serve the students to whom one is obligated to both inspire and teach.
Of course, Professor. When did your path become clear?
I recall it quite vividly. It was the summer between my 6th and 7th years. I read in the Prophet about a wizard who'd been selling alchemy eggs and disappeared in the mountains near my home. I knew of the alchemy, of course, from my studies, but they are native to lands east of here, such as India. I wondered if it was possible that an alchemy could be so nearby. Hence, I went to find it.
Seems quite a challenge finding an alchemy in the mountains.
It was. After a few days, during which my parents grew increasingly annoyed at my absence, I found what little remained of the wizard egg trader. He was near a tree hollow. And there, inside, was a nest with 7 silver alchemy eggs.
What did you do with them?
Nothing. Beasts are to be valued for what they can provide for wizard kind. Protective clothing, potion ingredients, even wand cores. Only poachers see the value in ending a beast's life for galleons. I left the eggs alone. I hid. And moments later, the beast flew right over my head. Breathtaking. She then seemed to all but disappear as she shrunk to fit into the hollow.
That sounds incredible.
Indeed. I knew in that moment that I needed to understand all that I could about beasts and ensure that wizard kind learned to benefit properly from them. Now, I trust that I have answered your question. You would do well to continue your study of beasts, regardless of your chosen path. Beasts and all that they provide will vastly improve your life, and perhaps One day, even save it.
I shall remember that, Professor. Thank you.
You rescued the Thestrals and purchased the spell, the reading pen.
Settle yourself. I mean you no harm. I don't have anything for this at the moment.
here then, eh?
Wish I could have studied.
Revelio. Revelio.
Is Lower Hogwarts been good for business?
Have you other people still?
Revelio.
I don't mind her going to myself.
I always feel quite safe in Hogsmeade. It's your own fault if you come unstuck.
Lumos.
That's what my mother would say. And certainly keep away from
Levioso.
most untoward. To be
Incendio.
I was able to find my destiny. I should have known better than to know something from a child walking the streets of Hogsmeade.
Revelio. Alohomora. Revelio. Confringo. Lumos. Revelio.
My brother promised me enough.
Revelio.
Welcome back.
Hello, Professor. I have news. The goblins are looking for something. Another repository. They've built drills to help with their search.
Most troubling.
Are these repositories like the broken container I found at Rookwood Castle?
They are. I fear we have no time to lose. Have a look at the map. Fortunately, the next trial is fairly nearby.
It's Hogwarts.
As you know, I was headmistress in my time. My portrait hangs in the headmaster's office. In fact, I witnessed Professor Black learn of your arrival. And I'll confess that I wondered about you.
Wait, is the next trial in the headmaster's office?
It is. I had hoped that when the time came, the occupant of that office would be of help to us. Unfortunately, this headmaster seems wildly unconcerned with anything but himself. You'll need to access the office while he's away.
I understand. Very well. I'll find some way to get in.
Good. I shall meet you in my portrait there. Until then.
How will I gain access to the headmaster's office? Perhaps Professor Fig will know what to do. Revelio.
I wonder if you learned I'd wager the Hufflepuff.
Revelio. Professor Fig, the keepers have shown me where the next trial is.
Has something changed?
Lodgok and I have learned that the goblins are searching for another repository, like the one we saw at Rookwood Castle. And I discovered that they're building massive drills to help in their search. Professor Fitzgerald seemed very concerned.
I see. Ranrock clearly knows even more than we suspected.
And sir, there's something else. Lodgok knew Miriam.
He knew Miriam?
They encountered each other at Rookwood Castle. She was doing research. That's where she found the container with the portkey. He liked her so much that he let her leave with it, despite orders from Ranrock.
I don't know what to say. She could win over almost anyone. I want to hear more of this. And, in fact, I'd like to speak with Lodgok directly. But we've no time now. Where is the next trial?
Believe it or not, it's in the headmaster's office.
Incredible. Very well, you'll need the password to get past the stone gargoyle. The headmaster's house elf will know it.
I don't know the headmaster's house elf. Will he even speak to me? I imagine he's loyal to the headmaster.
He is. So you'll need a disguise. I have just the thing. A polyjuice potion. You'll look and sound like Professor Black.
Wait, doesn't Polyjuice Potion require a bit of the person you want to change into? And take ages to brew?
It does.
So how do you already have Polyjuice Potion to change into Professor Black?
One never knows when such a thing may come in handy. Let's just say I felt the need to be prepared for anything after my fruitless trip to the ministry on his behalf. Now, time is of the essence. Drink up and I shall explain more. How do you feel?
Incredible. I won't forget that taste anytime soon. How do I sound?
Convincing. I've taken the liberty of transfiguring your robes. As we discussed, you'll need the password from Scrope, who could be anywhere in the castle. You might look for Professor Kagawa. She's taken to badgering the poor elf about Quidditch in the hopes that he can convince Black to change his mind. Thus far, unsuccessfully.
I see. But what if Professor Black sees me?
Leave him to me. I shall tell him where to meet a liaison from the ministry in Hogsmeade. That should give you plenty of time.
Thank you, Professor. I suppose we'll meet again in the map chamber.
It's rather strange to hear gratitude coming from Professor Black. I'll see you there.
Now to find the headmaster's house elf.
Professor, a moment of your time, please. Professor, I was hoping to catch you.
Places to be, Professor Sharp. Places to be.
Of course, sir. Only, you'd asked me about a particular potion, and I
did? I did, yes. Well, spit it out, Sharp. I don't have all day.
Probably best not to discuss it here, sir.
I assure you, Sharp, you may speak freely.
Very well. I've brewed the cure for boils you wanted. I can drop it by your office when it's convenient.
Of course, yes. No need for all the cloak and dagger. Simply have a student deliver it.
A student. Very well, sir, if you insist.
I do. And thank you, Sharp. I just hope you've brewed enough for all my boils.
Now, to determine which student gets this rather unenviable...
I haven't time for any of you at the moment. None. None at all. Move aside.
I thought I heard the headmaster approaching.
Stand proud, purebloods. The future is yours.
headmaster. Here, what could he want?
The headmaster hates everyone.
When I witness what passes for magic in these halls, I simply mourn for the future of the wizarding world.
I've been sending out to my mother, pleading with her.
At least you didn't do what that first year did. Spent hours collecting Dittany only to find it was all real.
Now, was it 2 pinches of angelic oil?
Headmaster, sir.
Just when I think I'm finished with my school.
Mr. Gaunt, where do you think you're going?
I beg your pardon, sir. I'm simply on my way outside.
Taking the day off, eh? Typical student, wasting the hours away.
I have to write 20 inches on Dittany and its uses. Was heading to the greenhouse.
Ah, yes. Mixed with bubo tuber pus makes a fine mustache paste. Yes, mustache paste. I find.
Are you feeling all right, sir? You don't seem yourself.
I assure you I am quite healthy, Gaunt. If I need a medical diagnosis, I shall head to St. Mungo's.
Something is very wrong with Professor Black. Dittany tuber pus. Moustache paste.
I was going to try out.
I'd better keep an eye on high places around the school for Zenobia's gobstones.
Do not make eye contact.
In trouble, are we? Been up to no good? Thought as much.
Were you able to follow one of the Daedalian keys?
Someone trod them in.
I should like to speak with you, Professor. Professor Black? Again, it is not too late to reconsider your decision regarding Quidditch. We could still have trials and a somewhat shortened season. It would be better than none at all.
But the injury, Madam Kogawa.
Professor, more than one student has taken a bludger to the head on our pitch. I dare say it knocked some sense into them. And they're fine now. The fact that it happened to be a pureblood, well, that's no reason to...
What nonsense! That you would trivialize the health of a student over a silly game.
A silly game? You are quite impossible sometimes. Sir, I've a good mind to write to the Department of Magical Games and Sports at the Ministry about you.
Good idea. I can even provide the parchment should you need it. Now, where is my elf?
Parchment? Very well, I will, and with pleasure. And I spotted Scrope in the Great Hall. Seems to be avoiding me.
I wonder why. Good day, Madam Kogawa.
What did we do to deserve him as a headmaster?
Our neighbour at home knows.